You ever wonder why she left you even though you gave her everything? You worked hard, stayed loyal, showed up for her in every way, and still she lost interest. It feels unfair, humiliating even, like no matter how good you are, it's never enough. That's because the danger isn't in how much you give. It's in how predictable you've become. Women don't crave certainty. They crave the feeling of chasing something just out of reach. And the painful truth is, the more you make her feel secure, the less she desires you. But there's a way to flip this dynamic, a way to keep her hooked without games or cruelty. In this video, I'll show you why women get addicted to men who act like they're nothing, and how you can turn that into your greatest advantage. Before we dive into the psychology behind this, make sure to subscribe and hit like, and let me know in the comments what city you're watching from. I read every single one. It shows me how many men from all over the world have lived through this same painful pattern. Some of you are in big cities, some in small towns, but the story is the same. You gave too much, and she pulled away. Now, let's get back. Because what you're about to hear is the real reason she lost interest. You think the way to a woman's heart is to give her absolute certainty. You text her every morning, call every night, make sure she never doubts how much she means to you. On paper, that sounds like love. But in reality, it can be the fastest way to kill her attraction. Here's the uncomfortable truth. When a woman feels completely safe in your affection, when she knows exactly where she stands, her desire can start to die. Not because she's ungrateful, not because she's cruel, but because a powerful part of her psychology is wired to crave excitement. Safety comforts her, but excitement hooks her. And when you remove all uncertainty, you also remove the very tension that makes her want you. Think about it this way. Remember the last time you binged a TV series? The episodes ended on cliffhangers, so you had to keep watching. If they told you the ending in the first 5 minutes, you'd turn it off. Relationships work in a similar way. If she knows exactly how you'll act, exactly what you'll say, exactly how much you care, there's no cliffhanger left. She stops investing mental energy in you because she's already solved the puzzle. Now let's flip this. Imagine instead of chasing her with constant reassurance, you let a little uncertainty breathe. You don't text back immediately because you are genuinely busy. You keep your own life full, your own plans intact. When she sees you're not orbiting around her, she starts to wonder, where is he? What's he doing? Does he miss me? That wonder reignites her curiosity. It puts her back in pursuit mode. And no, this isn't about being cruel or manipulative. It's about balance. Show care, yes, but don't smother her. Keep some edges unexplored. The goal isn't to make her anxious, it's to keep her intrigued. Here's your move. If you normally text her, "Good morning," every single day, skip one. Don't explain it. Don't apologize. Just let the silence sit. Watch how quickly she notices. That small act plants a seed of uncertainty that sparks attraction more effectively than a dozen roses ever could. What you thought was love, predictable stability, is often the silent killer of desire. The paradox is brutal. The very thing you rely on to hold her is the thing pushing her away. And that begs the question, if certainty kills attraction, what do women actually want from men? Women aren't consciously sitting around with a checklist saying, "I only want a man richer or stronger than me." But a powerful, ancient part of female psychology is often drawn toward men who project higher value. Not necessarily financial value, but survival value, the kind of man who makes her feel like she's leveling up by being with him. Here's where most guys get trapped. They think if they earn enough money, drive the right car, or hit the gym hard enough, women will stay addicted to them. But that's not how it plays out. Think of two common scenarios. In the first, you have a man with an impressive career and financial stability. Women notice him, sure, but in his interactions, He constantly seeks approval. He overinvests emotionally from day one, showering her with compliments and rearranging his life for her. His behavior, despite his success, screams neediness. And that neediness slowly erodes her attraction. In the second scenario, you have a man with a more modest life, but he carries himself with a quiet confidence. He is engaged when he's with a woman, but he doesn't orbit her. His life has purpose outside of her. He doesn't get rattled by last-minute changes of plans. His energy communicates abundance, not of money, but of self-worth. And this is the man women often find themselves inexplicably drawn to. The lesson? Women don't measure your worth by what's in your wallet. They measure it by how you carry yourself. Do you project calm authority, or do you project desperation? Do you live as if you have options, or as if she's your only chance? Here's your move. Audit your behavior, not your paycheck. Stop thinking, I need to earn more so she'll respect me. Instead, ask, how am I communicating my value through my actions? Sometimes the man with less money but stronger frame will outshine the millionaire who acts like he's lucky just to be invited. And that's the cruel irony. She doesn't fall for the man who has it all. She falls for the man who acts like he is the prize. But if value isn't about what you own, then what exactly tips the scale? The answer is even harsher. It's not your actual value, it's how she perceives your value. You can be a man with all the right boxes checked, steady job, good looks, respectable income, and still watch women drift away. Why? Because women don't respond to your resume. They respond to how you show up. Here's the painful truth. Her attraction doesn't hinge on your actual value, but on her perception of your value. And perception is shaped by your behavior, not your bank account. Picture two men. The first man lives in constant pursuit. He texts her nonstop, rearranges his schedule to fit hers, lights up like a kid every time she gives him attention. He's convinced that showing this much devotion proves his worth. But to her, his actions scream one thing: he needs me more than I need him. And that imbalance kills attraction. The second man? He carries himself like he has options. He enjoys her company, but he doesn't center his life around her. If she flakes, he doesn't sulk. He moves on with his own plans. If she tests him, he doesn't panic. He responds with calm humor. He communicates without saying a word. I don't chase validation. I am validation. Guess which man she can't stop thinking about? The difference is frame. When you project scarcity, please like me, please choose me, you look low value, no matter what's in your bank account. When you project abundance, I enjoy you, but I don't need you, you look high value, even if you're driving a 10-year-old car. Here's your move. Shift from proving yourself to presenting yourself. Next time she delays replying to your message, don't double text. Let the silence sit. Go live your life. When she sees you're not clinging for reassurance, her mind starts racing. Why isn't he chasing me like other guys? That mental energy is attraction in action. Women aren't evaluating your tax returns. They're evaluating your energy. Do you lead your life with confidence, or are you just trying to rent space in hers? And here's the kicker. Most men sabotage themselves in the very first week of dating by overspending their emotional budget. They dump all their affection up front, thinking it will guarantee loyalty. Instead, it guarantees boredom, which leads us straight to the next trap, because if your attention is the real currency, most men are going broke without even realizing it. Attention is the most powerful currency you have in a relationship. But here's where most men blow it. They spend it all in the first week. They text constantly. They shower her with compliments. They make themselves endlessly available. And just like printing too much money, the value of their attention crashes. Think about it. If you told a woman she was the most beautiful creature on earth every single day, how long before those words stopped meaning anything? When validation is unlimited, it becomes worthless. Let me show you how this plays out. David, a 52-year-old businessman, once dated Anna, a 40-year-old model. Now Anna was used to men fawning over her looks. Every date, every interaction, men would drown her in compliments. To her, those words were background noise. But David, he flipped the script. Instead of complimenting her beauty, he reserved his validation for moments when she earned it. When she cracked a sharp joke, he looked at her and said, "That was actually funny." When she shared an insight about business, he nodded and said, "That's smart thinking." He made his approval conditional, not automatic. Guess what happened? Anna became hooked. Not because David was richer or better looking than the men before him, but because his attention meant something. She had to work for it. His validation wasn't charity, it was a prize. That's the key. Women want to feel special, but they want to earn it. When you hand out compliments like candy, you rob her of the challenge. But when your words are rare and tied to genuine behavior, they gain weight. Here's your move. Shift from giving constant, generic praise to offering specific earned validation. Instead of, "You're gorgeous," try, "That dress makes your eyes stand out." Make her see that your approval isn't default, it's discerning. Because here's the harsh law of attraction. Free validation is ignored. Earned validation is craved. And if you think compliments are the only trap, wait until you hear what predictability does to a relationship. Most men think being a good partner means being reliable to the point of predictability. Same dinner spot every Friday, same goodnight call every evening, same routine on repeat. And then they wonder why she's yawning her way out of the relationship. Here's the problem. Predictability suffocates attraction. Women don't lose interest because you're stable. They lose interest because you've become boring. Attraction thrives on curiosity, and curiosity dies when she can map out your every move before you make it. This is often why the unpredictable man, sometimes labeled the bad boy, gets so much attention. It's rarely that women consciously want disrespect or chaos. It's that this type of man breaks the script. They don't always text back instantly. They surprise her with plans instead of asking her opinion for the 10th time. They keep her guessing, not about their loyalty, but about what's coming next. That unpredictability is exciting. It feels alive. Here's a concrete example. Instead of always asking, "What do you want to do tonight?" Flip it. Say, "Be ready at 7, I'm taking you somewhere new." You don't have to book a trip to Paris. It could be a hole-in-the-wall Italian place she's never tried, or even a drive down to the beach with takeout pizza. The point isn't luxury, it's novelty. Another move, break routine in small ways. If you always call her at the same time, skip a night and send her a playful voice message instead. If you usually spend Sundays glued to the same TV show, surprise her with tickets to a local event. These little disruptions reset her curiosity and reignite her attention. Here's the harsh truth. When she can predict every part of you, her mind stops investing in you. And once she stops investing mental energy, attraction collapses. So don't confuse stability with monotony. You can be solid without being stale. You can be dependable without being dull. The difference is whether you keep her guessing, even just a little. Because here's what most men don't realize. The moment you become too predictable, she'll unconsciously start testing you. And those tests are where most men fail without even knowing it. Here's something most men never see coming. Women will often test you. Not because they're cruel, not because they're manipulative, but because deep down they need to know. Is this man strong enough to lead, or is he desperate for my approval? These tests rarely come in obvious forms. They're subtle, almost invisible. She mentions another guy to see how you react. She cancels plans last minute to check if you'll beg for another chance. She gives you attitude, just to watch whether you crumble or stay calm. Every one of these moments is less about what she says and more about what your reaction reveals. Most men fail. The moment she says, "That guy at work is so attractive," they get jealous, defensive, maybe even competitive. Instantly, she knows she's holding the power. Or when she cancels a date, they scramble to reschedule, proving they'll take whatever scraps of time she offers. That's low-value behavior, plain and simple. Now let me show you a better way. George, a 55-year-old retired firefighter, once told me about a woman he dated who casually dropped a line about how handsome her ex-boyfriend was. Most men would have flinched, maybe argued, or tried to one-up the guy. George? He shrugged and said, "Yeah, he's a good-looking dude." Then he changed the subject. She froze, because she didn't get the reaction she expected. And from that day, she leaned harder into chasing him. Why? Because he showed he wasn't rattled, and that calm confidence screamed high value. Here's your move. The next time she tests you, don't explain, don't defend, don't overreact. If she's late, don't sulk. Go ahead with your plans. If she flirts with jealousy, laugh it off. If she pushes with coldness, mirror her energy until she corrects herself. These small responses communicate one thing: I am not desperate for your approval. Remember this: every test is an opportunity. Fail it, and you lower your value. Pass it, and you raise it. But here's the catch: you can ace every test in the book and still lose her if something deeper happens. Because attraction doesn't just fade in her mind, sometimes her body itself starts rejecting you. One of the most brutal truths about relationships is this: when a woman senses weakness in a man, her desire can begin to shut down. This doesn't happen because she decided to stop liking you. It often happens because her biology is sending a warning signal. This man isn't safe to follow. Think about what attraction evolved to do. A woman's subconscious is often asking, can this man protect me? Can he lead me? Can he stand firm when life hits hard? The moment you start acting needy, overly accommodating, or fragile, her nervous system can interpret it as danger. Not physical danger, but survival danger. And once that trigger flips, her body can pull the plug on intimacy. She feels irritated around you, less affectionate, maybe even repulsed, and she can't explain why. Now, let's be clear, this isn't the only reason attraction fades. Sometimes it's about poor communication, different life goals, or simply growing apart. But to ignore this deep-seated biological response is to miss a huge piece of the puzzle. Her subconscious isn't trying to be cruel. It's running a survival program. But here's the opportunity hidden in the pain. Because once you understand, this isn't just about her being cold-hearted, but about her biology responding to your behavior, you can take back control. Instead of spiraling, texting more, begging for intimacy, trying to win her back, you shift gears. You strengthen your frame. You become decisive again. You show, through action, that you are capable of leading. Here's your move. The next time she pulls away physically, resist the urge to chase. Instead, double down on your own standards. Hit the gym, focus on your mission, keep social momentum in your life. Then, when you interact with her, bring that grounded energy back. When she senses the shift, that you're not begging but leading, her body recalibrates. Attraction can reignite, not because of words, but because of the energy you project. This is why some men spiral downward, while others flip the script. The first group takes her withdrawal personally and collapses further. The second group uses it as a wake-up call to reassert strength. Guess which group she can't stay away from? But here's the paradox. Just when you pull back and rebuild, something fascinating happens. The woman who once kept her feelings hidden suddenly starts spelling them out in ways you can't miss. Most men never notice this shift until it smacks them in the face. When a woman truly fears losing you, she often stops being subtle. She goes from hinting to outright saying what she feels. Normally, women may communicate more covertly. Instead of saying, "I want your attention," she'll hint with, "I'm bored." Instead of saying, "I want affection," she'll complain, "You never hold my hand." These are indirect bids, and many men miss them, or worse, overcompensate by smothering her with attention. But when she senses that you're slipping away, when she feels that your value is higher than she thought, something can flip. She may stop dropping hints and start sending clear signals. Suddenly, her texts read, "I miss you so much." She's the one calling first, asking, "When can I see you?" She leans into overt communication because she feels the urgency. If she doesn't act, she might lose you. Here's the critical part. Most men blow this moment. The minute she becomes more direct, they get intoxicated by the attention. They rush back in, flood her with reassurance, and drown the very tension that made her chase. Within weeks, she's right back to taking them for granted. Instead, you need to recognize what's happening for what it is, a signal that you've successfully shifted the dynamic. She's investing in you. She's proving her interest. And the smartest move you can make is to welcome it without overcorrecting. Here's your move. When she sends that "I miss you" text, don't reply with a desperate love letter. Respond with something light but firm. "Good to know. Let's grab coffee Thursday." You acknowledge her effort, but you don't hand her the upper hand back. You keep leading. This shift is one of the clearest signs you're in the driver's seat. She's no longer testing to see if you'll chase. She's working to secure her spot in your life. That's where you want her. But make no mistake, this moment is fragile. If you drop your frame now, if you give back all the control in exchange for her affection, the cycle resets. That's why the final piece of this puzzle is the most important. The ability to maintain your frame and balance both love and attraction. Everything we've talked about, uncertainty, value, unpredictability, tests, biology, communication, it all comes down to this final law, frame control. If you lose your frame, you lose her. Period. Your frame is the way you see yourself in the world, and whether you hold it steady when she challenges you. Women are constantly, often unconsciously, testing to see if you'll abandon your perspective just to please them. The moment you do, the moment you hand over leadership, she starts losing respect. And without respect, attraction dies. Here's a common mistake. Men think being loving means being endlessly accommodating. They believe leadership is toxic, so they default to passivity. But women don't crave passivity. In romantic relationships, they often crave a man who can decide, who has direction, who can carry the weight of leading. When you center your entire world around her preferences, you can inadvertently force her into a leadership role she may not want in her romantic life, which often leads to resentment. Frame control doesn't mean being domineering. It means being decisive and steady. Instead of asking, "What do you want to do tonight?" you say, "Be ready at 7. We're trying that new Italian place downtown." Instead of nervously checking, "Is this okay with you?" you state with confidence, "This is what we're doing." That decisiveness gives her something she can relax into. She doesn't have to carry the burden of direction because you're carrying it. Here's your move. Pick one small area in your relationship this week where you've been indecisive. Maybe it's choosing where to eat, planning a weekend, or even setting boundaries with how often you text. Step up and lead it. Don't ask permission. Present the plan with confidence. Watch how she responds, not with anger, but often with relief. Because here's the truth. Love without attraction is just friendship. And attraction without love is just chaos. The men who keep women addicted are the ones who master both, caring and supportive, but also challenging and unpredictable. So the question is, will you keep running the nice guy playbook that guarantees she'll leave? Or will you embrace frame control and become the man she feels lucky to have won over? The choice is yours, but so are the consequences. If there's one thing you take from this, let it be this. Women don't get addicted to men who treat them like royalty every second of every day. They get addicted to the man who keeps them intrigued, the man they feel lucky to win over, the man whose presence commands respect. You've seen how it works. Certainty kills attraction. Predictability kills curiosity. Begging kills respect. And no matter how much money you make, how good you look, or how loyal you think you are, if you drop your frame, she will likely lose interest. It's not cruelty. It's a dynamic of human attraction. But that doesn't have to be your story. You don't have to be the man who gives everything away and ends up empty. You can be the man who understands how attraction really works. You can be the man who provides love and attraction, who balances care with challenge, stability with excitement. And when you become that man, everything changes. She texts you first. She invests in you. She worries about losing you instead of you worrying about losing her. That shift, from chasing to being chased, is the difference between relationships that drain you and relationships that ignite you. Here's the truth. You deserve a connection built on respect and desire, not pity and obligation. You deserve to be wanted, not just tolerated. But you'll never get there by clinging tighter or by giving more than she earns. You get there by holding your frame, by leading with confidence, by remembering that your attention is the most valuable currency she'll ever chase. So here's my challenge. Stop trying to convince women you're worthy. Start being the man who makes them prove they're worthy of you. That's the man she'll never forget. And if you want more insights like this, truths women will never tell you but you need to hear, make sure you subscribe. Hit the like button, drop a comment about which part hit you hardest, and share this with a man who needs to wake up. Because men who understand this don't just win in love, they win in life.